Hello, I am Jaby KOAY, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
We're looking at when Uber India head turned driver for a day. The way I read that might sound weird. Let me try it again. When Uber India's head turned... Hold on. When Uber India head, the boss, turned driver for a day in collaboration with Uber. That's my impression here. So this is from Brut India. Thank you, Brut India, for allowing us to react to this. Very, very, very much appreciate it. Y'all, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, please, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up to let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Digital poke. And while you're subscribing and upvoting, make sure to click on that link in the description below for to give the original video an upvote and subscribe to them from there. Damn it, we're first to upvote, subscribe to the link. All right.
Good job, Jaby.
Uber's not in charge of this video. I get to say what I want. So, ACHARA and I were at T-Series many years ago in India, and we called for an Uber, which took quite the while to get to us. Now, it's entirely possible that in the last 4 years, Uber has evolved to be a much, much better service, or we just had a weird driver that day. But the driver was quite late, and he showed up, and his tire was flat. And when I say a flat tire, I mean the rim was literally on the concrete. His tire was that flat. And he gets out of the car, I'm like, bro, your tire's flat. He goes, no, it's not. And then he looks, he's like, you need to call someone else. Like, it was that quick. I was like, Jesus Christ. All right, guy. And so we did. I don't even know how we got home that day. I mean, back to the hotel.
Yeah, we had another driver came and picked us up quite quickly, in fact, after that.
Whatever that was, was that Uber as well?
I think so.
It did, whatever the second part of that day was, it didn't record in my mind. I just remember that incident of the guy showing up and being in denial. I'm like, did you not feel the road more than you normally do? You're driving on your rim. Anyway, Uber India head, here we go.
Hi, good afternoon. अब सेटल हो जाइए आराम से. My name is Pravjit. Every कुछ month मैं गाड़ी चलाता हूँ ताकि समझूं कि ड्राइवर्स के साथ कैसा हो रहा है. Today I will be your driver.
Oh, that's cute. I wonder what his Uber rating is. 5 stars. A mixed bag of reactions. Okay.
Very new thing to do. Probably like one of the first rides in many weeks.
And they didn't ask you the destination.
And they didn't ask you drop kahan hai. And you said I'm on my way. And I was like very impressed with you already.
Just googled your name.
Yeah. Did you manage to find my profile?
You're from IIM Ahmedabad.
That's right, ma'am.
So I'm also from IIM Lucknow.
Oh, you are? Oh. Good to meet you. Which year?
2016, very much junior to you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, this is funny. Hi.
Oh, cute.
Hope I get
Don't hit the camera.
Thank you, ma'am. All the best. Bye, bacha. See you.
Oh.
I'm going to remember this day. This is very
No, me too. I think it's...
You would not remember me. I would remember.
No, it's a privilege to have met you. I'd love to take a selfie with you.
He's a sweetheart. Oh. Okay, I thought it was going to be like a hard-hitting interview or something.
So how's your on-ground driving experience been so far?
It was a very fascinating day. The initial stress of when the first trip will come, the gap between trips when certain requests are not coming, worry that I may get a trip in a location, right when actually I'm looking for a break. I imagine which many of our drivers go through on a daily basis. It also gives me some insights, right? They better go back to the team and hopefully work on some of these.
I can't not ask you this, but what's up with Uber's cancellations? Did you call any rider and tell him ki sir jana kahan hai?
Thankfully, I didn't, and I know I could sense the relief on the rider's face when I kind of met them post that. This is an issue. I believe that technology solutions have to solve for it. For example, compensating drivers for long pickups. In certain cases, showing destination. Maybe we can do it for certain trips versus for all trips. My commitment is this will get fixed.
What's the number one challenge that you're trying to solve for your drivers?
Drivers who associate with platforms like Uber should have a safety net. So for example, insurance cover, access
Wow.
to medical consultation
Wow.
when the pandemic is on, so that they
Wow.
feel that there is somebody
Is this
also
true?
supporting them.
This is
Happy
way more
drivers make
progressive
happy
than the
customers.
US.
We need to be able to get to that.
Do
No, I
you
feel
ever
like they
use an Uber
say they
personally?
want to do these
Always.
things and then they
Always.
don't.
As a rider, as a consumer, I am all literally using.
This guy
Uber
seems genuine.
I
times
know.
a day. I do hope my rider rating could have been higher though.
What was it?
It is much lower than I would like. It's actually low 4.6s.
Okay.
Hey, that's
And,
pretty good.
So what's good?
Five.
I would love to be closer. My driver rating is 5. But obviously I take more trips as a rider, and I like to believe that the reason that sometimes may happen is I may end up being a more vocal critic or being more proactive in my feedback, obviously as a core custodian of the business. But I'm working on it.
So, what kind of measures do you take when it comes to ensuring safety for all of your users?
At Uber, we look at safety not just on rider side. We also obsess about safety for drivers. So on the rider side, we have rolled out a bunch of features which are technology-led, sharing your trip, being able to get all the information about the driver.
Yeah.
After the trip, if you have an issue, being able to reach out to the helpline in case of a safety issue. On the driver side, we have also replicated similar features. For example, today morning when I started driving, I shared my live trip tracking with my family.
Where do you think Uber is headed in the next few years?
We have to go deeper into serving a much larger part of India. We are in about 100 cities.
Yes.
No reason why we should not be operating in 300 plus cities.
And it's been a pleasure talking with you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. And with the chai done, we can now go back
Cheers.
to driving soon.
Aw, he did seem like a genuinely very kind, sweet man, though. That was interesting about the whole Uber drivers canceling. I remember this was way before Uber, but back in Thailand, back in the day, before we had metered taxis, you would have to negotiate with the taxi driver, kind of like, you know, with an auto still. You might be like, oh, hey, I'm going to this place. And if it was like rush hour, a certain time of day, or they just didn't want to take you, they would just outright deny you and be like, no. And so sometimes it was really hard to get a ride. And you would think that with an app like Uber, at least here, it feels like they can't do that. Like, I think drivers know where you're going to go, but maybe in India it's different, because if a driver knew, then he could just choose not to take you there if he didn't feel like driving that far or something, or if he felt like it wasn't worth it, you know?
Well, the biggest thing he was talking about was incentivization to do their job better.
Yeah.
That's in a nutshell.
Exactly.
That's what it sounded like. And he seems like a very genuine guy. What freaked me out was the notion of he hires an Uber, right? He calls for an Uber.
Yeah.
He gets in the car, and then come to find out this guy's the head of Uber. And he could get you fired. Like,
Oh yeah, can you imagine if like you were a shitty driver and you gave him like a really bad
yeah, I mean,
ride?
I remember you telling me once about how you were at work and you're like, okay, hold please, and you just put the person on hold, and it turned out it was your boss.
I know.
Yeah.
And I was kind of rude as well. Because I was so stressed out. Like, I used to work at a restaurant and I was the hostess, and it was like a busy lunchtime crowd or something, and
Right.
and I picked up the phone and I was literally like, hello, this is Gyukaku Sherman Oaks, please hold. And I just put the person on hold, and then I picked it up and it was my manager, and he was like, don't you ever do that to any customers ever again. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but the other customers are like abusing me right now. Like, no.
Yep.
You can't win.
Yep.
You can't ever win.
But anyway, regarding him, I like his disposition, his personality. I liked how he conducted himself. He seemed very honest and forthright, and he seems like he genuinely wants to make it better. I mean, it all serves the business ultimately to come at it from that angle of genuinely wanting to be good, because I've encountered lots of business people in person and seen them in interviews and whatever, where it's like you can tell there's this veneer of like, oh, this is what you know, like the Starbucks, what do you call it? The racial training or whatever it was, like racial sensitivity training or whatever.
Oh, right
It's
after
like,
an incident happened.
all right.
I guess.
You know, I guess so. I mean, yeah, because you had this incident blow up in your face, so I guess now you're going to do this thing that maybe you could have done already if you really cared.
Yeah.
You know, there's stuff like that that happens all the time, and it's to me, it's a lot of I don't know if it's posturing or just virtue signaling
Just
or
for
what.
optics, yeah.
Just for optics, and so he doesn't seem like a guy who's doing it for optics. He seems like he genuinely wants to do right by.
Yeah, he seems really warm.
He wants to do right by his company and by his people, like the Indian people. And so, like, he was like, there's no reason we should be limited to 100 cities. We should be in 300 cities and go further and further. I just hope that his moves, I don't know, don't take away from the business that the rickshaw drivers have. That's the only thing. Or or maybe he's able to, I don't know. Hopefully everything works out in a positive way.
Yeah.
Because, you know, one of the big fears that we talked about that seemed to have resonated with a lot of people, I didn't know that was going to happen with the Ashish Chanchlani video, is the fear of automation. You know, people are studying for jobs that are eventually just going to be automated.
Right.
And even this, at some point, might be automated. I don't know how long before that hits India, but that's certainly going to happen here sooner than later, where, you know, you're going to hail an Uber, and it won't cancel on you because that's not a person. That's just a car. It just shows up, no steering wheel, no pedals. You get in and it goes. You know, and that's the future. Why even buy a car? It's just going to drive itself anyway. Just, you know, this is the future of what's going to happen.
Right.
So anyway, not to make this a downer, but, you know, take Ubers while you can, I guess. I don't know what the silver lining. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
ACHARA KIRK.